So any sage words of wisdom, seeing as you did manage to stay together throughout 2020? Anyone, any words of advice to anyone out there who's just about to fucking gouge their partner's eyes out?
I sometimes imagine that my husband's dead and how sad I would be if that happened. So I think, I would really I'd be so sad if you were dead. So I'm going to give you a cuddle and try and be nice. Is that advice? I'm not saying I'm trying to kill him.
So dark and so funny and also just so effective.
Because I think, well, if he's not here, I'd be really sad. And then I'd be furious at myself when he has died that I was a bitch before he died. So come on, be nice.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I feel like we should think that before we make every single decision in life.
Yeah.
Like, what if I died? What if that person, like, we should have, I think about death constantly as a positive, as a way to keep myself positive of like, you know, I think that was a big part of getting out of my eating disorder was thinking, when I'm old, do I want to look back on my entire life as I would my 20s, which is just spending it counting calories and weighing myself? And I think having that realization, if I died today, that's all I've done in my 20s.
Yeah.
And I think that's why when I got to the end of my 20s, I was like, right, I'm throwing everything at recovery because I don't want to look back on the rest of my life as just an attempt to have my hip bones like jut out over my jeans.
Yeah.
I just wear leggings
important.
now.
And I know, stretchy pants.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds really macabre, but it's kind of important to think that we're dead in a minute. It's all done.
Yeah. And
it's 2020, all done in a minute.
2020 brought that home in more ways than just the pandemic, just everything we saw going on racially or going on with different groups or going on with fires or catastrophes or floods all around the world. Like this year, we could not escape the reality that really you really don't have any control over what's going to happen. So try and live your life accordingly in a way that will make you feel peaceful if shit does hit the fan.
Yeah. And I think in the same breath, by doing that, you need to give yourself a break if you're fucking struggling. If you're hating on whoever you're living with or hating on yourself or trying to go through stuff, you're allowed to be upside down. You're allowed to not fucking be okay for a minute. I think people think, you know, oh, well, we're just at home. I should be making the most of it. It's terrifying because there's no end date. There's no, even, I know I keep, we talk about the fires, but even with the fires, those seasons end. You know that we don't have an exact date, but we know around March in Australia, it's going to cool down, you know. But what the fuck? We've got second wave, third wave all over the country, new strands. People are allowed, I think, to first and foremost, just give yourself a break. If you're not okay, let yourself be not okay and then call a mate or text someone, and if it goes on a bit and be like, I'm not okay, and give yourself space in that. Stop always trying to think that what you should be doing.